In the rhythm of modern life, people are facing more subtle challenges than ever before. We may be living in an age of technology, of information, of unprecedented opportunities, but at the same time, it is also an age of anxiety, disconnection, and deep loneliness. Each passing day, amidst the unread messages, endless meetings, expectations of success, and self-image, we feel our minds being stretched thin, like a string on the verge of snapping. We seek healing through many means: courses on happiness, luxurious travels, therapy sessions, or books about mastering emotions. Yet somehow, after all of it, when night falls and the outside world becomes silent, there remains a quiet emptiness in the heart. A gentle but profound question begins to arise: how can we live peacefully in a world that never stops changing? That is where Buddhist wisdom begins to speak, not loudly, not dogmatically, and not as an abstract philosophy removed from life, but as a simple, profound, and strangely intimate awakening. Buddha's wisdom journey was born from that very spirit, as a journey inward, where each video is a slow step to listen, to contemplate, to understand oneself. The channel does not speak of religion in the sense of belief, but of the path of wisdom, of clear observation, and of genuine compassion. Because Buddhism does not teach us to escape life. It teaches us to live fully in every moment, to understand our suffering deeply, and from there, to find the path of liberation from it. When people hear the phrase, Buddhist wisdom, many may think of lofty concepts, difficult philosophies, or ancient scriptures. But if we look more closely, we will see that the Buddha's teachings are not beyond everyday life. They touch upon the most familiar things: how we face fear, how we overcome anger, how we love without attachment, and how we let go without losing. The Dharma is not separate from life, it is life itself, seen through the eyes of mindfulness. When we suffer because of work, because others don't understand us, because the future feels uncertain, or because of the complex emotions within, it is not a sign of weakness. It is an invitation to return inward, to explore a deeper layer of existence. The Buddha once said, "No one saves us but ourselves." Yet, ourselves here does not mean the fearful, grasping ego, but the luminous awareness already present within each of us, where wisdom and compassion dwell together. In the journey Buddhist wisdom for everyday problems, we will listen and discover how Buddhist insight illuminates every aspect of daily life. How to remain calm in a stressful day. How not to be swept away by anger when someone hurts us. How not to be afraid when everything begins to change. And how to love without clinging, to let go without escaping. Such questions cannot be answered by theory, they can only be understood through experience. For the Dharma does not lie in words, but in the stillness between two breaths. When we truly stop, when we truly look deeply within ourselves, we begin to see the miracles hidden beneath life's confusion. An anger, when seen with mindfulness, becomes a chance to understand ourselves more deeply. A fear, when embraced with compassion, becomes a doorway to courage. And a wound, when illuminated by wisdom, becomes the very beginning of healing. Buddhist wisdom does not promise a life free from suffering, but it offers us a new way to see suffering. When we no longer view sadness as an enemy, when we stop running away from restlessness, we begin to realize that everything happening is part of the natural flow. When we understand this nature, our minds become softer, our hearts become wider, and in that very acceptance, peace begins to bloom. Buddha's wisdom journey is not a place to seek knowledge, but a space to learn how to listen to the life unfolding within. Each video, each story, each reflection here is like a gentle reminder: peace is not far away, it is right here, in every moment, in every breath, in every non-judgmental gaze. Let us begin this journey together, the journey of awakening amidst daily life, where we learn to live with gentleness, with clarity, and with wisdom shining through each moment of the present. Because wisdom does not arise from avoiding life, it comes from living deeply within it. And each passing day, if we can live with a little more awareness, love with a little more understanding, then no matter how many challenges remain, we are still walking the path of serenity that in everyday life, people face countless seemingly small problems that are enough to disturb the soul. Sometimes it's just a careless word that hurts us, a criticism that keeps us awake, or an unfulfilled plan that leaves us lost. We react, we get angry, we feel sad, and in those moments, we believe the cause lies in the outside world. But Buddhist wisdom points out that all suffering begins in the mind. Because if the mind is not disturbed, then no matter how fierce the storm outside may be, we can still stand still, like a calm lake reflecting the sky. The Buddha once taught, "Nothing can harm you unless you allow it." This saying does not mean we must suppress or deny our emotions, but rather that we must learn to look deeply into them to see their roots. When someone says something unpleasant and we become angry, that anger is not really because of them, but because we feel insulted, unrecognized. It is the self that craves respect that is the true cause of our suffering. When we understand this, instead of reacting, we begin to observe. Instead of judging others, we turn our gaze inward. That is the first step of wisdom, awareness without resistance. When we no longer rush to blame, no longer let emotions control us, a small space begins to open between us and the situation. In that space, we can breathe, we can see more clearly. And right there, freedom arises. Freedom is not doing whatever we want, but not being dominated by emotions. When we learn to stand outside of anger, fear, or hurt, not by denying them, but by understanding them, we gradually see that all emotions come and go, like clouds drifting across the sky. The Dharma teaches that everything is impermanent. Impermanence is not just a philosophy, but an evident truth. Nothing in this life lasts forever: joy, sadness, success, failure, those we love, those we hate, all change. But what causes human suffering is not change itself, but attachment. When we cling to something, we create suffering. When we want everything to be as we wish, we lose the ability to accept. In truth, acceptance does not mean giving up, but understanding that some things are beyond our control. And when we stop resisting the flow, we begin to move with it, gently, naturally. In modern life, many people live with the mindset that they must always achieve something, a better position, a fuller life, a better image in the eyes of others. But Buddhism reminds us that happiness does not come from having more, but from having less. Less desire, less comparison, less fear, less craving for control. When the mind becomes less crowded, we begin to see clearly. And when we see clearly, we realize that what we've been searching for all along is not out there, it is right here, in each breath, each step, each moment in which we are truly present. That presence, mindfulness, is the foundation of all wisdom. When we wash the dishes, simply know that we are washing the dishes. When we walk, simply know that we are walking. When we talk to someone, truly listen, without judgment, without comparison. It sounds simple, but how often do we really live like that? Most of the time. Our bodies are here, but our minds have drifted elsewhere, thinking about the past, worrying about the future, regretting, hoping, fearing. Mindfulness brings us back to the present moment, the only place where life truly happens. When the mind abides in the present, problems that once seemed so big gradually dissolve. Because most of our suffering does not lie in the event itself, but in the stories our minds create about it. Practicing mindfulness is not to make life perfect, but to make us whole amidst imperfections. When we are sad, know that we are sad. When we are angry, know that we are angry. That awareness is like light shining into darkness. No need to chase it away, just shine the light, and the darkness naturally fades. Wisdom does not come from avoiding suffering, but from looking deeply into its nature. We suffer because we believe we are separate from life, that everything happening is against us. but when we realize that everything is part of the interdependent flow of causes and conditions, that all things exist through countless factors, we stop blaming and begin to understand. Understanding is compassion. When we understand another's pain, we no longer wish to hurt them. When we understand the fear within ourselves, we no longer wish to hide or deny it. And when we understand that all beings are struggling in their own suffering, our hearts naturally soften, love more, judge less. That is when wisdom and compassion become one, like two wings of the same bird, helping us soar over all the challenges of life. Every problem we face each day, big or small, is a lesson for spiritual growth. A person who insults us teaches us patience. A failure teaches us letting go. A loss teaches us impermanence. No one is truly our enemy, only teachers in different forms. When we begin to see life through that lens, every problem ceases to be an obstacle and becomes the path itself. And that path, though full of stones, if walked with awareness, each step becomes meditation. We do not need to leave the world to find peace. Peace is not on a mountain peak, it is in the way we walk upon this very earth. In each moment of difficulty, if we simply stop, take a deep breath, and look at everything with non-judgmental eyes, we are already living with Buddhist wisdom. No need for complex rituals, no need for lofty philosophy. Just a mind that knows how to return home. Because sometimes, the solution to daily problems is not changing the world, but changing how we see the world. When that vision is illuminated by wisdom and compassion, every problem naturally becomes an opportunity to understand ourselves better, to understand others better, and to live more deeply in each breath of the present moment. Life constantly challenges human beings with things that seem random but carry profound lessons within them. When we face difficulties, our minds immediately react with worry, fear, anger, and resentment. But if we pause to look closely, we will see that in those very moments, we have the opportunity to understand ourselves more deeply than ever before. Each time life hurts us, it is showing us the fragile parts, the unhealed parts within ourselves. And if we are brave enough not to run away, to sit still and listen to that pain, then right within suffering, there is the light of wisdom. The Buddha once said, "It is through the wound that the light enters." This saying is not merely a philosophy but a truth of the mind. Because when we touch the deepest core of our pain, we touch the truest part of ourselves, where there is no pretense, no concealment, where the mind becomes as clear as a freshly fallen drop of water. We often think that happiness comes when everything goes our way, but Buddhist wisdom shows that true happiness arises when we learn to flow with what is. When we no longer resist life, we begin to live in acceptance and peace. Let us look into the things that cause us suffering: comparison, jealousy, fear of being left behind, the pressure to be perfect. Every time we feel not enough, we are losing our inherent peace. We strive to reach an image our minds create and become disappointed when we cannot touch it. But in truth, no one in this world is ever enough by any fixed measure. There is only the deep realization that we are already whole in this very moment. Compassion is not only kindness toward others but also gentleness toward ourselves. When we can embrace our own weaknesses, we also become more tolerant toward others. When we stop judging ourselves, we no longer wish to judge anyone. And when we can forgive ourselves, we begin to understand what true forgiveness means. Buddhist wisdom teaches that all beings are walking their own path of awakening. No one is born perfect, no one is free from mistakes. Every action, every word, every choice, whether right or wrong, is part of a process of learning and growth. When we understand this, we stop blaming others, stop blaming ourselves. Instead, we quietly observe, learn to love, and let go. Modern life keeps the human mind in a constant state of busyness. We are so busy that we no longer have time to stop and ask, what am I really living for? But the truth is, we cannot truly live unless we have stopped at least once. Amidst the noise of traffic, the deadlines, the brief conversations, have we ever felt the sound of our own breath? Mindfulness teaches that just one moment of stopping to breathe, to listen to the wind, to feel our steps touching the earth, is enough to step out of the storm of unconsciousness. Awakening does not come from mystical experiences but from the most ordinary moments, the moment we are truly present, truly alive. Someone once asked, how can we apply Buddhist wisdom to work, family, and this complex social life? The answer is simpler than we think. Begin with a mindful breath. When we meet a difficult person, breathe in, acknowledge the irritation rising. Breathe out, gently release that emotion, without suppressing it, just observe. When we worry about the future, breathe in, recognize that fear is just a thought. Breathe out, return to the present, where everything is still okay. Just like that, we have already begun to live with wisdom. Because wisdom does not lie in words but in the full presence of the mind in each moment. But this path is not easy to walk. There are days when our minds are pulled back to the past, where painful memories still linger. There are nights when loneliness rises like a wave, making us feel small and lost. In such moments, do not try to overcome the pain, because the more we try, the more we resist, and resistance itself is the root of suffering. Just sit quietly with it, breathe with it, and gradually that pain will dissolve like smoke. Because every emotion, no matter how strong, cannot last forever unless we feed it with fear or denial. That is the power of mindfulness, the power of loving presence. When we truly live mindfully, all problems become transparent. We begin to realize that life is not a series of problems to be solved, but a river of experiences to be understood. Each person we meet, each challenge we face, is a mirror reflecting our inner world. A person who makes us angry may be the mirror showing that we have not yet learned patience. A person who hurts us may be the opportunity to learn forgiveness. A situation that frightens us may be an invitation to step out of our comfort zone. Everything that comes to us does not come to punish, but to awaken. And only when we understand this does life truly become a path of practice. Buddhism teaches, the mind precedes all things. All joy and sorrow arise from the mind. When the mind is illuminated by wisdom, every problem is resolved at its root. Instead of trying to change circumstances, we learn to change our perception. When perception changes, the world changes too. A person who once hurt us, now, looking back, we see they too were just a being in suffering. An event that once caused despair now becomes a lesson that helped us grow. And at that moment, we no longer ask, why did this happen to me? Instead, we ask, what is this trying to teach me? That shift is the sign of wisdom taking root. Because when we stop demanding that life be different, we begin to touch its hidden beauty, even within imperfection. We see light within darkness, meaning within suffering, and compassion within brokenness. And when we can live like that, we no longer need to speak of the Dharma, we are already living in it. Life is like a flowing river. Whether we want it or not, the water keeps rushing on, carrying with it joy and sorrow, gain and loss, love and hate, success and failure. Most of the time, we try to control that flow, wanting it to be calm, clear, and without waves. But Buddhist wisdom teaches that peace does not come from making the river stop flowing, but from learning how to swim with it. Everyday life is full of small changes that we rarely notice, a conversation that irritates us, a criticism that hurts us, a failure that makes us doubt ourselves. We call those things problems, but in truth, within them the seeds of awakening are being sown. If we keep running away, we will never see their value. There is a paradox that everyone on the path of awakening must realize: suffering is the gateway to wisdom. No one truly understands life until they have suffered. When we experience loss, we learn impermanence. When we are betrayed, we learn forgiveness. When we are lonely, we learn how to return within. It is precisely in the darkest moments that we have the chance to see the true nature of our mind. In the moments when we feel exhausted, we realize that there is a part of us, still, clear, and compassionate, that has always been present. That is the Buddha nature, the innate purity that no one can touch or take away. But to reach that part, we must stop. We must learn the art of silence. The world today teaches us to react quickly, to express opinions, to prove our worth. Meanwhile, Buddhist wisdom teaches the opposite: do not rush to react, just observe. When someone insults us, observe how our mind begins to stir. When someone praises us, feel how the I within expands. When we fail, observe the emptiness rising in our chest. Each moment of observation is a practice. Because knowing oneself is the root of all liberation. No wisdom can truly grow from reading alone, unless it is experienced through our own breath and pain. In a single day, we can encounter countless moments to practice. When waiting in line and impatience arises, breathe in deeply, breathe out slowly. When feeling tired, place a hand on the chest and recognize the beating heart. When anxious, close your eyes just to realize that fear is not you, it is merely a cloud passing by. These small practices, if nurtured daily, will become the foundation of an unshakable mind. Buddhism does not promise that we will no longer suffer. But it teaches us how to walk through suffering without being swallowed by it. Like one who learns to sit still in the middle of a storm, instead of trying to chase away the clouds, we simply keep our mind calm. The storm will pass. And when it does, the sky will once again be clear as it was at first. All emotions are like that: anger, fear, jealousy, anxiety. They come, and they go. What we must learn is not to be carried away with them. When the mind is bright enough, we see that there is nothing to resist, because everything is unfolding according to the law of dependent origination. In relationships, Buddhist wisdom is especially profound. We often love to be loved in return, help to be recognized, give to receive. But the more we expect, the more we suffer. The Buddha taught that true love exists only when there is no expectation. When we love someone with a free heart, without demanding that they be as we want, that love becomes the most powerful healing energy. Conversely, when we love with attachment, though it may appear gentle on the surface, deep inside it is rooted in the fear of loss. Therefore, practicing compassion is not only about loving others but also learning to love without clinging, to let go without indifference. Life is a long lesson where everything happens for a reason. The people who come and go in our lives, whether they bring joy or sorrow, are all helping us see ourselves. Those who hurt us teach us forgiveness. Those who disappoint us help us understand that expectations are illusions. Those who love us unconditionally help us realize the nature of compassion. Without them, we could not grow. When we understand this, we no longer see anyone as an enemy, only teachers, in different forms, coming to help us awaken. Wisdom is not about understanding everything, but about accepting that there are things we cannot understand. Sometimes the only answer is silence. Sometimes the best way to act is to do nothing. In that silence, a new understanding arises, one that does not come from reasoning but from direct awareness. That is when we begin to feel life deeply, as if everything is breathing with us, the trees, the wind, the light, every small sound. When living with such awareness, we no longer see ourselves as separate from the world. We see ourselves as part of the whole. And when there is no longer a boundary between me and life, all problems seem to dissolve. But this path is not only filled with light. There will be days when we feel we have returned to the starting point. Drowned again in old emotions, caught in the same loops of the mind. In those moments, do not rush to blame yourself. It is natural. Even long-time practitioners are sometimes swept away by ignorance. What matters is not that we never fall, but that we recognize when we do and know how to stand up with mindfulness. Each time that happens, our mind becomes stronger, deeper, and a little brighter. On this journey, remember that wisdom does not come from perfection, but from honesty with oneself. To be honest with our fears, our wounds, and our limitations, that is the foundation of awakening. When we dare to look into the darkest corners of the mind, the light will appear on its own. No one can give us enlightenment, for it is not out there, it can only be found when we return within. And when we begin to see that light, even for a brief moment, we realize something miraculous. All the problems that once made us suffer are merely lessons for us to learn. Love and letting go. They did not come to harm us, but to help us grow. And one day, we will smile looking back, grateful even for the storms that once knocked us down. Because in the end, Buddhist wisdom is not about seeking safety, but about learning serenity amidst uncertainty. When we understand this, we are close to touching the door of inner freedom, where there is nothing to run from, nothing to cling to, only the pure presence of awareness flowing within the river of life. In the end, after all the whirlwinds of worries, wounds, and unanswered questions, we return to the simplest truth, to understand ourselves, to understand life, and to accept things as they are. That is the essence of Buddhist wisdom, not a doctrine to believe in, but a mirror that helps us see clearly the nature of all the problems we once thought we could never overcome. When we begin to realize that all suffering has a cause, we also realize that all suffering can end. The Buddha did not teach us to run away from problems, nor to fight them, but to learn how to see them clearly. Because only by seeing clearly do we stop being led by them. Each time we feel pain, anger, or fear, if we can pause, take a deep breath, and observe that emotion as a wave that comes and goes, we are practicing wisdom. The problems in life never truly intend to destroy us. They are simply lessons in disguise, meant to lead us toward growth and awakening. Just as a seed needs the darkness of the soil to sprout, human consciousness also needs a certain amount of suffering to open the depths of understanding and compassion. Only when we have suffered enough do we become humble enough to listen, to look within, and to learn to live differently. Buddhism does not promise that life will be free of hardship. But Buddhist wisdom gives us a new way of seeing. Instead of complaining, we learn to observe, instead of running away. We learn to face, instead of trying to control everything, we learn to let go and trust in karma. When we understand that everything arises from causes and conditions, we no longer cling to what has passed, nor fear what has yet to come. In the light of mindfulness, every problem becomes smaller. When we walk more slowly, breathe more deeply, and speak more mindfully, the things that once seemed complicated suddenly become transparent. Anger turns into understanding. Sadness turns into compassion. And within that peace, wisdom begins to shine, not from outside, but from within us. Life will still be full of challenges. There will be times when we feel like we are drifting in a storm, not knowing which way is the shore. But if we can keep the lamp of awareness burning within, one breath, one smile, one silent moment, we will see that even amidst the storm, there is a place of peace that cannot be shaken. That place is the still nature of our own mind. That is what Buddhism wishes to offer. Wisdom does not lie in avoiding suffering, but in the ability to move through it with clarity and compassion. Every difficulty, when seen with awakened eyes, can become a teacher. Every wound, when listened to deeply, can become a doorway to greater understanding. When you understand this, you will see that life has never been your enemy. It is only a mirror reflecting your own consciousness. If your mind is bright, the world is bright. If your mind is still, all problems will naturally be resolved in that stillness. And that is when you realize that every answer has always been within you. There is no need to search far, no need to chase after another teaching. Just return, to your breath, to your steps, to the present moment, and you will see that everything you have ever sought has never left you. Ultimately, Buddhist wisdom is not something we learn from books, but something we truly live. It is the ability to smile amidst chaos, to love amidst pain, and to walk quietly through the currents of life without losing ourselves. If this teaching touches your heart, take a quiet moment to reflect. Share your thoughts in the comments, not to argue, but to help light a little more understanding and compassion in this world. And if you wish to continue exploring Buddhist wisdom, to hear stories that bring healing and peace to your heart each day, subscribe to Buddha's Wisdom Journey. It will be a place where we walk together on the path of understanding, letting go, and dwelling in mindfulness. Because in the end, what matters most is not how much we know, but how deeply we live what we know. And within each mindful breath, each awakened moment, every challenge in life can become a doorway leading us to wisdom and freedom.